it's T, and welcome back to my channel. This is a recap of my third year in Medieval Dynasty. Previously, we got our first child. You can see father and child on the left. And of course, at the start of a new year, we have to pay taxes. And at the start of maybe every season, I go to the town to sell some items. So I'm gonna pick up some items from the chest and I'm gonna sell them at the village. At the start of a season, I also check on possible villagers. As I said in my previous video, I have been a bit more picky with who I invite to the village, and I'm looking for more or well-rounded villagers, and plus the ones that I'm currently looking for. Harvested my fields. This was mostly rye. Figure out what to do for this season. I'm still doing it myself. I don't have any field workers currently. So yeah, I do the fertilizer, the seeds, and all of those stuff. I still have not quite figured out the system in the game, but we'll see if I can do that later. There was a new quest in the village nearby. I believe this is the same woman that had a quest before. We had to bring her food. This time turns out she's pregnant, and the quest basically asks for an item for a cradle. This is a house that's like falling apart, so I wonder if in the future one of the quests will be to kind of repair this house, but we'll see. I check on my traps pretty regularly, maybe every day in game, so I don't really have to tell you that, but here's a shot of me doing that. And I have some bird traps and I have some rabbit traps. I added another field right next to the one that I already have. I did the fertilizer and put some seeds, the ones that are good for spring. And I did that well into the night. So by the time I finished, you could barely see anything. So I had to go to bed and skip to the next day. In the morning, I emptied out the clay deposits near the village. I try to remember to do this every season because they respawn at the start of every season, and you can do a lot of stuff from clays. So eventually I want to produce like clay vials and stuff like that to sell probably and use for the village too. I went to another village nearby to check on the possible villagers there, and unfortunately no luck. I did not choose anyone from here either. I've updated the hunting lodge to level 2, so it's made out of logs this time, more sturdier, and I also insulated it too. While exploring the area, I found some cabbages laying around, so of course I picked them up, and there was something else on the left side, I don't remember anymore. Cherry wine. Oh. I kept working on the quest called Saving Private Otker, of course, and I'm not gonna show you all of it just in case of spoilers, but there's also so much dialogue, but I went to the point where you have to wait for another season to see what happened. I purchased a recipe for wooden bowls and made some of them. I finished the kitchen building, and I also purchased some recipes for the kitchen to make food. I probably bought most of the recipes that are there, and I was looking for the ones that I can actually make right now, so I didn't buy the milk ones because I don't have something that produces milk yet. I picked up a quest from this strange guy, and I will begin to hate that quest eventually because it all started to innocently like talk to villagers, like tell them the end of the world is coming and stuff like that. But eventually, this guy will send me to the swamps again, and I already hate that area. Like I barely made it alive last time because of the wolves. There, there's like a pack of wolves there, but they're not on the hunting map. So the map that shows where the animals are does not tell you that wolves are there. But if you come close to that area, there's like a pack of them, and they're right on the path, which is not supposed to happen, I think. Like they're not supposed to spawn too close to the paths. So yeah, I will begin to hate this quest with all my heart, and I would be putting it off until I don't know how long. On a different note, I really enjoy how this game looks like, and sometimes I just want to sit and look around and look at the greenery, at the animals, just look at the villagers doing their things and working. I really like the sounds and the visual. At the beginning of summer, I check the food storage for items that are going bad, and I move them to the compost bin to create the rot that I can use for fertilizer. I also collect the wheat, carrots, flax, and continue to insulate the houses. Then I manage the food demand in the village and check out the possible villagers at one of the towns, and decided to go with one of them. And I've selected him to be a hunter. I finally finished the quest with Otker and received a very generous reward. I decided to craft some berry bushes to decorate the village. Off camera, I also did some cooking and crafted some fishing spears because we were running low on them. I also got another progression point for the production, I believe. Yes, production skill. During the change of season to autumn, there was a caravan coming from my village, and I decided to decline their offer because most of my villagers are already um, skill level 4. One of my villagers had a quest for me to fetch some beer for him. Yeah, it took me a couple of tries to get the right dialogue and actually receive the quest. And as I always do at the start of the season, I check the compost bin, move the rot into the barn so I can create fertilizer later. I've checked potential villagers at one of the towns and decided to go with a guy who I assigned to work at the barn to create some animal feed and fertilizer for me. I, of course, took care of the field and planted some crops afterward. I checked another spot for potential villagers and decided to go with a woman. And I assigned her to be a blacksmith because my current blacksmith is heavily pregnant and she's not working. I started to build another living area with some houses kind of to the left and in front of the field. If you look at the entrance of the village, I would just build like stone houses and work on the communal area. And also, some of the houses are not fully finished, kind of, so I know they're there and I want them there, but I also don't want to pay the tax on it yet, and I don't really need all of them yet, too. So that's why you can see unfinished houses. I also went and sold most of the items that my herbalist has collected. I really like this profession and like the extraction building itself. Throughout the season, they can collect either mushrooms or certain herbs and like berries throughout summer, and then you can plant those like berry bushes and have them every summer, like in your village. I really like that profession. It's probably one of my favorites right now. I checked on my traps as I do almost daily, and I've increased my skill in hunting. So I decided to go with the increase of the amount of traps you can have so that I can have even more traps laying around catching the birds and the rabbits. I delivered beer to one of my villagers, completing the quest for the set beer, which resulted in me being intoxicated too, which was kind of funny, and the character sounds funny too. But I won't torture you with this visual for long. Here's a look at the village from the camera mode. You can see the new addition to the side, the one that I was talking about. I'm just building houses close to each other and building some roads. As you can see, there's another row of houses I put right there. I have progressed in one of the main quests, so the be patient, it's what it's called, and then it goes into call to action. I believe this is like the main storyline quest, but it's another one of those quests that just frustrates me because at this point I didn't realize what was coming for me. But once it transitions into call to action, I realized I'm being thrown to different parts of the map. I need to fight some archers, and it's just frustrating. I just want to build my little village, and I will deal with the bandits sometime, and I will go hunt animals sometime. I just don't want to do it now. I want to just enjoy building a village and go from there. I've had a lot of frustrating moments trying to complete this quest off camera because in the moments of frustration, I forget to click record. So I end up just being frustrated afterwards and saying it frustrated this frustration, and I can't even show you what I was frustrated about. Here's a little walk through the village showing you some of the updates I've made so far in the year, the new area that I'm developing that I've already showed you in the camera mode, but also some added decoration and some lights finally. During the change of season, we got our first baby born by the villager. We got another wedding, and two more couples are expecting. I started the season with checking the management tab, of course. I'm going to lose one miner and one lumberjack for a couple of years because they're expecting and then they're going to care for the child. Afterwards, I planted some carrots, of course, because that's the only crop that you can actually plant at winter in the game. I finally went to Astoria, which is a fishing village in Oxbow. I checked out the potential villagers, of course, first thing, important, but unfortunately, I didn't pick out any of them. I have finally unlocked and built a mine. Unfortunately, I had to build it on the other side of town because that would be the closest cave available to me. Apparently, there's a cave close to me that's supposed to be there. I don't see it on the map, but there are bears in that area that spawn. And to be able to even search the area for a cave, I'll have to hunt the bears, and I have attempted to do that a couple of times and I failed. And when I fail, I just run from it. But this winter, I have bought the right recipe for the copper arrows. I bought the recipe for poison, and I bought the recipe for poisoned copper arrows. So next time around, I will be more prepared because I'm gonna be shooting with actual poisoned copper arrows, and I'm hoping to be able to shoot those two bears that spot there and to be able to search the area for a cave because I would love to have a mine closer to the village instead of having to go all the way across town to actually access it. That was the end of year 3 and moving into spring of year 4. I got an event with the Runaway Bride, which ended with me getting a new villager. Thank you for watching, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!